Hello, here we go. What are we on? Episode 7? I think so. Sorry if we're not. Here we go. Chapter 35. The Memories. Roz still dreamed of escaping, of going home, of reuniting with her son, but her dreams were starting to feel impossible. She was losing hope. Was it time for the robot to accept her new life and forget her old one? Forget? Roz was troubled by that word. You see, her computer brain remembered every detail of her life on the island, and it hurt to think she might never make it back there. However, the robot could always forget. She could erase her old memories. It would be like they never happened. The heaviness she now felt would vanish. But without her memories, who would she be? No, Roz wanted to remember her old life, which was good because someone from her old life was about to appear. But we don't know who that is. Don't get your hopes up just yet. Chapter 36. The Unusual Flock. Another flock of geese was approaching the farm, but this flock was unusual. It wasn't flying south like the others. It was flying north in a perfect V formation, and it was led by a very young, graceful goose. The flock flew once around the farm buildings and then delicately touched down in the barnyard. The leader whispered some words to one another, and then he fluttered in through the barn door. The cows looked up from their stalls, and the goose perched himself on a railing near the middle of the barn. Then the goose cleared his throat, shook his tail feathers, and announced to the herd, "I am looking for a robot named Roz. My name is Brightbill, and I am her son." Exciting. Can't turn the page. Oh, here's a picture of them in their formation. Chapter 37. The Reunion. Oh, look how happy they look. Something was wrong with the cows. Their excited moos echoed out from the barn and across the farm. Roz sent the milk truck away for its evening deliveries and hurried off to see what the raucous was all about. When she stepped in the barn, she found the entire herd crowded together as the robot started pushing her way through. The cows turned and smiled. And then Roz saw him, her beloved son, her Brightbill. As you know, reader, robots don't feel emotions, not the way animals do, but in that moment, in that barn, nobody had any doubt how Roz felt. She rushed forward and scooped her son in her arms. "Brightbill," she cried, "is it really you?" "It really is," Brightbill nuzzled his mother's face. "How did you find me?" said Roz. "Ma, you're famous! You are all anyone could talk about in the wintering grounds. It started with the flocks of the geese that stopped here on their migrations. They shared your story with everyone they met. Your story spread from flock to flock, from north to south, from east to west. Eventually, your story made its way to me. I took off as soon as I heard where you were. I didn't even tell the others." "But we caught up with him." Loudwing, the old goose, fluttered over the herd and gently landed on the cow's back. "Brightbill wasn't the only one who wanted to see you, Roz." The rest of the flock appeared, and the robot found herself surrounded by her old friends and family. Squawking and mooing and laughing and cheering filled the barn. But then came a loud, clear voice that only the robot understood. "Roz, what are you doing?" The animal hushed. Roz turned around slowly, and there were Jaya and Jad standing in the doorway. The children had seen everything. How are they going to take it? Chapter 38. The Truth. Children can be very sneaky, don't I know it? And when Jaya and Jad heard the raucous coming from the barn, they silently sneaked over to investigate. Now they were staring at a very strange scene indeed. Roz was standing in the middle of the barn, surrounded by the entire herd of cows. For some reason, a flock of geese was there as well, and one of the geese was being cradled in the robot's arms. But what most confused the children were that the wild animal noises Roz had just been making. The thing is, children aren't just sneaky, they're also smart. I'll give you that. And it didn't take long for Jaya and Jad to make sense of the strange scene. "The stories Roz told us about the robot on the island," said Jad to his sister, "they were about her." "And the goose in Roz's arm," said Jaya to her brother, "that must be her son." All of Roz's stories came flooding back to the children. The robot on the island, the wild animals, the adventure, those stories seemed fanciful. Could they all really be true? "You are correct, children. Those robot stories are about me," admitted Roz, with a hint of sadness in her voice. "There were so many times that I wanted to tell you the truth about my past, but I was afraid the truth would frighten you." The robot motioned to the goose in her arms. "This is my son. His name is Brightbill." Reader, there's another important quality that children possess. In addition to being sneaky and smart, they're also compassionate. I'd say so too. Children care about others and about the world, and as Jaya and Jad gazed at Roz and Brightbill, their little hearts were full of compassion. "Please do not tell your father about me," said Roz. "To him I am just a machine. If he learns the truth, he will send me back to the robot factory where I will be destroyed. But you must do what you feel is right. My life is now in your hands." I don't know if I'd want my life in your hands. The children looked at each other and smiled. "Don't worry, Roz," said Jad. "Your secret's safe with us," said Jad. Chapter 39, The Allies. So that's where two people work together. Jaya and Jad would do anything to have their own mother back, so they understood how happy Brightbill and Roz must have felt in that moment. But they also understood how this happy moment couldn't last forever. Brightbill couldn't live on the farm, and Roz couldn't be her true self around their father. Life seemed so unfair. The children knew what needed to happen. "Roz, you need to go home," said Jaya. "You need to be with your family and your friends on your island," said Jad. "I wish I could go home, but your father would never allow it." "Just run away," said the girl. "I ran away once. It was easy. But then I started to feel hungry, so I came back home and made myself a sandwich." "Running away might be easy for you, but not for me," said Roz. "Your father can track my movements. If he sees me trying to escape, he will think I am defective and he will send me away to be destroyed." An uncomfortable question popped into Jaya's mind. "Roz, don't take this the wrong way," she began, "but is it possible that you are defective?" Not many other of these robots can talk to animals. "Don't say that, Jaya," cried her brother. "No, it's okay," said the robot. "I have asked myself the same question. I do not feel defective. I feel different. If being different is being different the same as being defective?" "I don't think so," said Jaya. "Or else we're all a little defective, because we're all very different." "You saved my life." "Oh, you saved my life, and now I'm going to save yours," said Jad, with a look of determination in his eyes. "I know you can only access farming information, Roz, so let us handle the research. There has to be a way for you to escape safely, but we'll need time to figure out a plan." The robot exchanged a few animal words with her son, and then she said to the children, "Brightbill must soon lead his flock back to the wintering grounds. However, he can return here in the spring." The boy slowly nodded. "We should have you ready by then." The girl looked concerned. "Roz, even if you safely escape from the farm, how will you get all the way home to your island?" "Leave that to Brightbill and me," said the robot. "Together we will find our way home. I have faith in the two of us, and I have faith in you too." And there the children are. So they can be trusted after all. But we're going to leave it there. See you next time.